The bell has just sounded, and we are underway with round one. Canada's Lenox Luis, 6'4", 212 pounds from Kitchener, Ontario. Making his debut in the Olympic super heavyweight category, he has drawn a fighter from Pakistan by the name of Mohammad Yousuf, and Yousuf has come to fight.
Yes, he has, and it's about the only thing he's really got going for him against Lenox Luis, because Lenox has got vast experience on him. But we know that the Pakistani boxers are very, very strong. This fellow is from the Army way. He's from the mountains. He's a very tough mountain lad, and he'll give a tough account of himself all the way through. He landed a hard right hand on Lenox right there that sort of just shook him for a second, but it wasn't that hard to really hurt him.
Things not going the way Lenox Luis had hoped they would so far in the fight. He is not hurt, don't get me wrong, but he did not anticipate, I think, taking a standing 8 count within the first minute of the first round. Lenox Luis, as Peter Wiley pointed out, with some international experience, but most of that at the junior and intermediate level. He is only 18 years old, won't be 19 until next month, the 2nd of September. So he stepped up a class in terms of world competition, and he's going to find a difference, I know, if not in this fight, then certainly in the next one, in terms of the caliber of opponents.
There's what he has to do. He came out very fast at the start of the fight. He thought he would just take it quickly to the Pakistani and take him out, and that didn't happen, and he ran into a few hard shots himself by just rushing things. Now he's realized he's got to settle down and box and use his technical abilities. He's got vast experience over this guy. Pick him off and take him apart, and that's what he's doing.
Lenox Luis landing a good right uppercut there that caught the chin of the Pakistani fighter. Luis, his greatest assets, he feels, his speed, hand speed, and foot speed, and boxing ability. He says he's got a knockout punch, but his real assets are speed, no question about it. And now the fighter from Pakistan has lost his mouthpiece, so they'll go back to the corner, wash it off, and then the fight will continue.
The officials are really down on this. If he was to have that happen again, he could lose a point very quickly.
Well, it's a ploy that many fighters have used over the years, Peter. When they are having the tar pounded out of them, they lose the mouthpiece on every second punch.
Yes, and they're not going to be allowed to get away with it in this tournament. That was spelled out very clearly to them by the officials. And here now, that good left hand of Lenox that he has is coming to the fore now, and he's scoring quite well. He has tremendous lateral movement for a big man. He can really move when he wants to.
Well, Coach Arnie Beam and Taylor Gordon sitting in Lenox Luis' corner. Arnie Beam, the man who looks after Luis through the greater portion of the year, and he describes Luis as being the most attentive kid he ever had, and even now at the age of 18 going on 19, still very highly coachable. He'll take advice, he'll listen to what you have to say, and then put it into practical use.
Lenox is trying to catch his man with a good jab, and as the Pakistani leans forward, which he's doing, he's leaning forward with his upper body. What Lenox is doing is slipping in the right uppercut as he comes in underneath the chin, and it's a good move. There's the right hand over top. He's just trying to pick his man off very, very clearly here and look for the clean shots to score against the Pakistani. The Pakistani's playing it smart. He's staying close to Luis and making it a close fight. And this is for an obvious reason. None other than Ken Hamilton, who's from Toronto, is in the Pakistani's corner, and he's told him stay close to Lenox.
Well, round 2 of this super heavyweight encounter is just underway. In the ring, representing Canada, Lenox Luis, 6'4", 212 pounds from Kitchener, Ontario, against a very tough, very unorthodox boxer from Pakistan by the name of Mohammad Yousuf. An interesting first round in which Lenox Luis had some problems with his opponent, and we heard Coach Arnie Beam between rounds 1 and 2 telling his fighter in the corner, Lenox, you're a boxer. You're a boxer. You've got to be a boxer. Don't get into a wrestling contest with this guy. We don't want that.
The Pakistani Mohammad Yousuf has slowed down a little bit here. His footwork is dropped back, and he's starting to become flat-footed, and that'll be a big turning point for him because Lenox can move, and outbox him throughout this round now. And he's trying to come forward right now, but I can see that his conditioning is lacking slightly now, and Lenox should have a little bit of an advantage on him. Ken Hamilton, who's working the Pakistani's corner, is from Toronto and works with Asif Dar in the lightweight class, and that's why he's there in that corner. And he's told the Pakistani, rightly so, to try to stay close to Lenox because Lenox is a good boxer, and try to make it a close fight. But I don't think Yousuf has the tools and the conditioning to do just that.
Canada's Lenox Luis coming on a little in round 2, but also showing himself susceptible to the Pakistani boxer's right hand. Lenox carrying his own left hand very, very low.
He's picking Yousuf off now with left hooks, good jabs, dropping the right hand in now. He's smartening up entirely. There it is again. His timing is coming off very nicely now. Now he hurt the Pakistani with the right hand, but Yousuf has come right back. He is one tough individual, because normally if Lewis hit somebody with that on the button like that, they would be hurt.
And the crowd beginning to boo as the Pakistani boxer Yousuf's mouthpiece has again come out. That's the second time in the fight that has happened. And perhaps coincidentally, perhaps not, both times it has happened is when he's been taking some heat from Lenox Luis.
The speed has gone out of Yousuf now. It really has. Lenox can pick him off. It'll just get worse for him as it goes on.
As I mentioned earlier, Lenox Luis describing his own boxing skills as being very fast, fast hands, fast feet, good mobility. Don't forget, this man is 212 pounds. He says he is not regarded by a lot of people as being a knockout puncher, but then as he breaks into a smile, he says, but I know the punch is there.
Lenox has been sitting around in the training camp for the last 10 days doing hardly getting any sparring whatsoever, but working a lot with the pads with Arnie Beam to keep his speed up. But that's got to affect his timing, and it's taken him a full round to get back, and thank goodness for that. Now he's starting to come on right now. He needed this fight in the worst way.
Well, I've mentioned that about a number of Canadian boxers that have made their Olympic debuts as Lewis opens up. Nice left and two right hands to Yousuf. The referee, Mr. Dobrev of Bulgaria, separating the two. But as I was saying, no matter how much work you do in the gym, it's not like a fight in terms of establishing your timing and your power.
Boy, is this Mohammad Yousuf a tough dude, I'm going to tell you. He just got hit with a three-punch combination that would put most guys down.
There is the bell. Well, this is far and away the biggest competition, the biggest international competition that Lenox Luis has ever been involved in. And I'm sure Arnie Beam telling him that he is a beautiful boxer to keep his confidence up. Round three, as you see, just underway. Lenox Luis now beginning to show us some of that speed he had talked about earlier. He is very light, very quick on his feet for such a big man, and quick hands. The Pakistani boxer Yousuf landing one of his own there that grazed Lewis's chin.
There's the mobility we're looking for. Now he just has to fire combinations. He has the mobility on Yousuf, and he has to use it here. Fire off combinations, that's the idea. 1, 2, 3. Keep that jab busy.
Lenox Luis dancing, moving well as we have 2:20 to go in round three. Luis, of course, the world junior super heavyweight champion, a crown he picked up last fall in the Dominican Republic.
He's won a tremendous bout recently also over Craig Payne, who was ranked 4th in the world, and that bout was back in February in the Canada versus USA tournament. So he's got a lot of credits to his record lately. He's got 6 international bouts only, but all 6 of them being wins. He's never been defeated internationally. What a right hand!
Oh, a booming right hand. Luis setting it up with the left, then crossing with the right. The Pakistani boxer Yousuf taking that flush on the jaw. He went down like a ton of bricks. Mr. Dobrov will not let this continue, and Canada's Lenox Luis, with his arms raised high in the air, has won his Olympic opener in most impressive fashion.
He just felt he had too much class for Yousuf. He felt he was just too much for him. He had too much ability, and there was no point in carrying on with the bout. Yousuf was just going to get hurt.
Yousuf still slumped over in his corner as we took a look at Canada's Lenox Luis in his corner. The headgear being removed. That is Coach Arnie Beam sporting the mustache, wearing a big grin, and let's see how he did it, Peter.
I think the setup came off the left jab, and then the right hand came over, and there it is.
Oh, you see his head snap back. What a telling blow. I told you earlier in this fight, I've got knockout power. Don't sell me short. You saw it there. As I said, Canada's Lenox Luis wins his Olympic opener.